Peace to the kings and queens. It's your brother Tim Gray with another episode of the Melanated Medicine Podcast. I am here with the queen, whatever, a dear friend of mine. Her name is Miss Cynthia Peacock, and we're going to get into her story a little bit and a little bit direct because there's a lot of history here. There's a lot of midnight conversations after good parties in the 2000s that we will never, ever have video conversations about.
Don't be clocking my age now.
Listen, we ain't going to talk about your age because it's not necessary. But Miss Peacock, thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're going to have to speak into your microphone. All the cute stuff and everything. It's just people need to hear you, okay?
Thank you for having me.
All right, there we go. Get your Oprah ready.
Thank you for having
Miss
me.
Peacock.
Yes.
So here's a couple questions, all right? We need people to know what you do and why you do it.
Okay.
We're going to start there. I'm going to just give you that one because I'm excited about this part of the conversation because you're going to see why did I choose her as a guest. Not just because I know her, but please.
Well, now you set it up.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone. Cynthia Peacock. I am a commercial real estate broker here in Manhattan. I've been in the business since 2004 in real estate generally. In between that, I started and launched my consulting company where I help small businesses start and grow. Expanded that to New York, DC, Philadelphia, and now we have a little bit of an expansion coming in the next few weeks.
All right, I want you to stop. Let's rewind just like 8 seconds. Take the word "little" bit out and then say it again, please. It ain't shit little about what you do.
We operate in the Northeast generally, and we are expanding and growing our operations to cover a little bit of all the East Coast down to Georgia.
Georgia. So I mean, hold on. I messed that up. I apologize. We gotta give you a proper. Yeah. We have a live studio as this. I want some snaps and claps. All right, thank you very much. Because the reason why this is important, I have to tell you a story. The last time we had another guest, shout out to Tamika, who was on the show from Hollow Cycle. I have to tell why you're important. All right, so one day, there used to be a Barnes & Noble that was on 66th Street. No, 66.
Yeah, 66.
There's a Barnes & Noble's
Broadway.
there in Broadway. And I was having a meeting with my team at that time, and we were throwing parties or something like that. And I can't remember specifically, but she was there for whatever damn reason that was. And she's sitting there listening to the conversation of myself, Jason, and Mark. And I was like, man, I got to see if I can do this. And she said, of course you can do it. And she was not in the conversation. Okay. So she's just off to the side, just, doing whatever she was doing, drinking the coffee, whatever. And we're like, I said, what? She said, if I'm around you, you're going to do it.
For sure.
And it was the most lightning bolt love that you can get. You only get this type of love for women who care about you, because when women don't care about you, you won't hear a thing. And it was such, I always try to remind you of the importance of a good word at the right time. And I always want to make sure that you know that I don't get here without those types of energies.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that moment, which is funny. But also, you and Jason don't realize you guys were the glue to probably my social life in New York City, my ambition. Yeah, no, I mean, I moved to New York in 2003, and I was in a relationship. I lived in Brooklyn, and
we won't hold that against you, but go ahead.
yeah, no, right.
Harlem stand up.
But when that relationship ended, right before my 21st birthday, I had an identity crisis.
I did not know you were that young.
Yeah, I was a nice little PYT.
Keep going, I'm sorry.
So when that relationship ended at 21, I went into an identity crisis because at that time, I was so young. Everything was tied into that partnership. Everything was tied into traveling to be with that person, or, they were my identity. The relationship was my identity. And so it was the best thing that happened, though, because I had an opportunity to actually live in New York. At that time, I was visiting New York with an apartment here.
Hold on one second. For those who don't know how it was in New York City in the early 2000s, the music was a thing.
It was.
The soundtrack was a thing. So and we still had clubs at this time. So this is before you stared at the DJ for aimless, no reason at all, and you were just dancing until your wig sweated off. So, yeah, there was a time.
It did.
There was a time.
It did. And so I don't even know how I connected to you guys.
No idea.
It was Jason, I believe, was the anchor, and I was looking for a masseuse for my birthday.
You were
party.
looking for a massage therapist.
Massage therapist.
Do we know
that?
this little caveat? We need to know the difference between a masseuse and a massage therapist.
Absolutely.
I say this to people all the time. I'm joking with her.
Yeah.
But the difference, a masseuse is usually directly associated to sex workers. That's the reason why massage therapists.
At all. Love you from Jason. Love you.
Yes, that was not happening. But that's why massage therapists take it very personally when you call us masseuse. And specifically if it's a male, because if it was a male, it would be a masseur. Ooh. So if the person that you're going to get some body work done does not have a license that they can prove, insurance, and a degree, they cannot be a massage therapist. As you are. Sorry.
So take this back to MySpace days. We gonna age y'all a little bit.
I'm all right.
I found my massage therapist,
All right.
Jason Gray at that time.
Yeah.
And they were doing something so unique, which is why I always believed him is always on the front of anything going on. Like, they had a mobile massage company. It wasn't hot. It wasn't dope at that time, but I found them and I booked the massage for around my birthday. And after the massage, Jason was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I don't know." He was like, "Come to our Halloween party." Oh. And the Halloween party that year, I believe, was at Tavern on the Green.
Yeah.
And so that was like the beginning, right? I had some mutual friends through college and things like that around that time. But after that kind of massage and that connection at the party, we all became family.
Yeah, man.
And, it's kind of history now, but, I feel like from those relationships, from those 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. nights out, I built so many relationships that today I'm anchored by. People that I call, people that I trust, people that I've done business with, people that have been my rock in my lowest moments here in New York.
Oh, come on, let's give a round of applause for that one. Yeah, that was it. That was beautifully said. Beautifully said.
Yeah, you're the glue.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. So I'm sorry. I'm having a remembering those things, but you don't. Sometimes when you're in your moment, you don't know the importance that it's having on other people. That's why relationships are so essential. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because they can actually help mold us into the direction that we're going in. And the reason why I think it's beautiful is because we had Ja on here as a guest, right?
Oh, one of my favorite clients.
So the connection is directly. She is the person that helped Ja get the studio that he has currently and other spaces that he was looking at before. So if she doesn't do what she does well, he doesn't get that facility. If he doesn't get that facility, all the lives that he and his team are perfecting to help change doesn't happen. So your melanated medicine still needs to come from a structure perspective. So it's not just having guests on who are the people who are teaching these classes or doing the work, but the people who are helping them do the work by helping them establish a place for us to go.
For sure.
So hold on.
Yeah.
This is a big point. When my lease was up here, she was the first person I called because I did not have anybody on that side of the coin who could help navigate what my lease actually says.
It's important.
No, that's essential because that's where we lose a lot because you don't know what type of leverage you have if you don't know who's behind those things, like having an attorney, it felt like. Yeah. So once again, thank you for being the first call, not feeling any trepidation about calling. So if I didn't feel that history, so to speak, I wouldn't even feel comfortable asking. And that's what a lot of times we lose our opportunity to grow.
I mean, I'm very honored that I was on the list of people to call because...
No, you were the list.
I am the list.
You were the list. There was no... I didn't call... I know other people in commercial real estate, and I just don't know if they love me. They may answer a question for me, but do they lead me with how to make sure that I can take care of myself after that question?
Well, I think my mission in life, and I talk about this a little bit nowadays, is that I want to do that for whoever I'm dealing with. We have nearly 20 years of friendship, you know. That's so it's natural for that to happen. But I try to do that with all of my clients. If I met them 5 minutes ago, or if I met them, 10 years ago. And I think that's the shift that has to happen in real estate, in commercial real estate specifically. If you don't know, we're in New York City. And while there are hundreds and thousands of properties that transact every day, I have never done a deal on the other side of a table with a woman of color. I've never done a deal on the other side of the table with a man of color.
Another air horn.
We are here. We are doing this work. But there are few of us, and we're few and far between. And one of me and my team's mission is to make us just seen, but also not just seen because we're people of color, because we're actually the best fucking
That's
option.
the part. That's the part.
We're really good.
That's the part. Is that you're really good at it.
We're really good.
And I think that's the part a lot of us, you know what, regardless of what a lot of us does, we're going to make sure that we are fully in the room and fully accessible and reminding people that this is the standard. It just so happens that we're melanated.
We are.
And for those of us who may have viewers out here, yes, if you're Caucasian, you do have melanin in your skin.
You do.
Let's be very clear. It's a redundant gene, but it's there. So we all come from one source. Please believe that. Sorry, I just want to make sure I do. But I share the same sentiment. I didn't see a version of me out there. The only two massage therapists that were publicly outside of New York City at that time was Jason and I. And then when I try to I get very overprotective of it because massage therapy equipment is that you need a table.
You do.
And that's where the masseuse massage therapist thing becomes a big divide because people are not generally educated because they don't usually see us in these spaces. So it's important for us to know who, what, when, and how. And it just so happens that they are of color. You dig? So that's an important part to make. What do you think is a bigger part for other people in commercial real estate, why they're not as publicized or as seen?
Why aren't we as publicized and seen? It's our fault. Part of it is our fault.
Speak to that.
I'm a believer that sometimes we fall into the shadows so that we're not too colorful, right? We're not, shaking it up too much.
I do want to say that her last name is Peacock.
And
so you see what I'm saying? Okay.
And I was that probably the first 7 to 10 years of my career. Put my head down, worked hard, got to know, learned, listened, studied a lot because I thought I wasn't knowledgeable enough. I thought I needed this deal, I needed that deal. But when I got comfortable in just my passion and love for the business.
Hold on 1 second. Let's speak a little bit louder. We are in New York City, so certain things you cannot hide. So you will hear a horn. You will see people walk in the background. I just want to make sure people know. It's like, why do you hear it? Because we're in New York.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Welcome to Manhattan. For me, I dimmed my light in the beginning because I wanted to fit in. I didn't want to be, again, that's a big part of living here. And it's a big part of becoming comfortable in who you are. Is like I was dimming my light to make it more comfortable and palatable for people because I thought that was my road to success.
Okay.
As opposed to being comfortable and being the bird and the flowery, bold, colorful person that I am. I didn't have to dress a certain way. I didn't have to look a certain way. I didn't have to wear my hair and all this. Now the things that I do now are because I personally prefer that.
Fair.
And who I am naturally. But I had to get comfortable in like, I don't need all of this to equate to my expertise. My expertise is there because I work my ass off and I learn and I grow, and every day my mission is to do something a little bit, move another step forward. And so when I got comfortable in that space, I started to shout it from the rooftop. And that's what we don't do.
Okay.
Like we kind of sit in the shadows and hope people notice us instead of speaking. And even on platforms like this, like it's difficult to, I've been doing content now for 2 years, and it's difficult. And there's so many insecurities that come with it.
Sure.
Because you want to be perfect, or you want to be good. And you have to learn that you're going to grow, and every day it's going to be there might be bumps and bruises along the way, but as you decide to grow in your expertise in the way you do your thing, you're naturally going to get better. And generally, competition wise, I don't see the competition, not that there isn't it out there, but I think just like a relationship, your clients are attracted to who you are. And so the people that want to work with me as a broker, the people that want to work with me as their representative on a property or for their asset, they're attracted to who I am and the core of who I am, my natural personality, my jokes, my quirks. They're not necessarily looking for that box that I was supposed to try to fit in. And so that actually brings more people to me. I made a decision about a year ago to, instead of going a route that would be easier financially for myself, to partner with a person that I respect very highly and I think would probably accelerate my business tremendously, to stick true to what I felt at the core would be the road that I think could lead to showing and showcasing me as a person of color and my team as a team that is diverse. That we can build and create and succeed in this business, because I knew there was a customer looking for that. And funny enough, I've been met with many clients that are specifically looking for who I am. This little, some people call it unicorn in the road, or you don't see a lot of women, in commercial real estate, you don't see a lot of people of color in commercial real estate. And there are people who specifically want to work with that, because they understand people differently. They understand that person differently.
Well, when somebody doesn't have to you don't have to retell your story. No. You know what I mean? When you don't have to allocate for somebody else's perception of understanding. There's a comfort in that. I go through that just being a therapist here, where I've had times where I've had people come in and book off the website or reference from someone. Usually it's a reference, a referral, I should say, and they'll walk in the door and they don't expect a 6 foot tall, 240 pound black man with a beard to be their therapist.
Why would they not want that?
Yeah. And for those who want it like that, we try to make sure that they're not our clients. But I, with all jokes aside, it's an important part of being okay with who you are. And I usually have some type of spiritual reference when I'm talking to people about this, because that's where my foundation is. And a term that I say to young therapists is the same God that brought you the idea is the same God that brings you the clients. You have to believe in that part. There's an Arabic term, and it says tawakkul. What that stands for is your undoubted belief in God's hands in your journey. So God knows best. Sometimes there's a phrase that we use with no belief in it. I can't move that way. That's why I have to find the joy in going, okay, this is where I'm placed. I have to live fully in the place that I'm in, so that way I can truly extract the benefit of it. So, and we don't need to navigate alone.
No,
you know what I mean? The separatism that we have in business ownership of, I need to talk to someone who's a commercial real estate agent. I need to talk to somebody who understands how to do a camera. Like my production team here, Zayd said something to me. He says it so casually, not this thing I just look at it as youthful exuberance. But he was telling me that I needed to go and do this, do that, and the fourth, because I did not need him to do this, that, and the fourth.
Wow.
Keyword. He said, you could do this, that, and the fourth. You don't even need me to do that. The awareness of not trying to overconsume something that he has at this stage is a reminder for me to realize that Allah placed me in certain spaces with certain people for me to unearth that. But you have to allow yourself the space to be open to receive it.
Absolutely.
And then get back to work. Get your moment. receive it, let it marinate for a minute, because if you move too quick, you could, overshoot yourself. Sure. So it's an important part that I'm happy that you were able to share that part of the conversation, because I want people to be owners.
No, 100%.
And at the other part of it is, all of us don't need to own that thing. No. Meaning that we all play positions in life. Because I have no problem holding the boom mic. Because I don't understand sound.
Yeah.
I sat with my niece to understand how to put blush on. And she was like, you be a makeup artist? I was like, no, but there may be a time when this skill set might be applicable. And she was like, huh.
Possible.
And she's 12. So she was like, And then I remember something my mother told me, and I said this to a 12-year-old girl. I said, I don't really want you to wear a lot of makeup. I said, I also want you to realize there's natural forms of makeup. And she was like, what? She said, I like a little color. Because these kids nowadays, they know how to contour and stuff like that. I was like, this is scary.
Much better than me.
So I said, why don't you add a little bit of color to your cheeks? I said, the natural way. She said, how do you do that? I said, squeeze your cheeks. I said, just do this. And because of her skin tone, it just happened like, boom. And she was like, oh, I said, now, keep in mind, you will bruise yourself if you keep doing it. Don't go ham on it. And she was like, all right. But it was just that exchange. I didn't realize it. It was just helping a young woman feel loved and seen as her natural self. I didn't realize that was doing until I heard back from her parents. And she was like, yeah, because she was heavy on this makeup thing. And now she's sitting there like, look at my rouge.
And I think we need people like that. We need influences like to make us, I think especially as young girls and young boys, like kids can be not nice, to say it in a nice way.
Fair.
And we need people, and I think a lot of the struggle with what's happening with the youth right now, like I'm switching subjects a little bit. It's like I don't know if there are really anchors out there that can impart and show and share just the basics of things that we call common sense, the basics of things that we just knew and experienced as kids. Because obviously I use my phone all the time. I sleep with my phone and everything, but people are absorbed by the phone, absorbed by the social, absorbed by perceptions of what success looks like. And that's the biggest thing to me right now, is people perceive success as visibility. And I've never been a person that strived for visibility. I strived for deposits. And that's always been my
Hey, hold on now. You ain't gonna just be dropping that one like that.
I've always been that. Anyone who knows me since I moved to New York.
Hold on. We have a studio audience here. We're going to get some live there. Yeah. Clap, clap, snap, snap. Clap, clap, snap, snap.
Like anytime, like since I moved here and I obviously got into a professional career and work, and I went to school here, but you got to work just as hard as you were playing. So the moments and the times we talk about, we were out till 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Keep going,
at breakfast.
Yep. If you've ever been to Chelsea Diner on 23rd Street and 8th Avenue, you understand.
You definitely saw us. But I would turn around at that 6 a.m. and I knew, because I wanted to make that exception to go out that night. Instead of going home to Brooklyn, I would go to my office downtown. I had New York Sports Club at the corner. I would sit in the sauna. I would take a shower. I had Century 21 on the other side of the street. I would go get me a new outfit, and I'd be in my office 7:30, 8 o'clock, dressed and ready to go.
So I don't do this anymore because, I've grown as a human being.
That is not healthy.
I want to say this, and I'm not trying to glorify anything, so Allah forgive me, but there was a time of grit that we had to do, because there was something that we didn't have the access of social media, so you didn't see everything. No. You had to witness it firsthand. Yeah, but
I love
at
it.
the time that you were doing that,
there's no video.
None.
Good luck.
But we had fun because we were present, right? But the reason why I'm saying that is that there's still something in the powering showing up.
Yeah.
What do I mean by that? The same time that you were going to New York Sports Club and doing these things, I worked at the bank. All right, so I was a personal business banker at Citibank. Yes, this person was a banker, but I would leave you guys slightly early because I had to be in my office at 7:30 in the morning. So we would leave these diners and stuff like that, because it just carried on the conversation. Nobody wanted a good night to end, because it wasn't necessarily about we weren't heavy drinkers or anything like that. It was just more about the camaraderie of your good friends that you were finding, and you didn't want to let that moment go because it just felt good to be around good people who got you.
It was.
Right? So that in itself, that social behavior was such a good medicine because we needed each other.
We did.
All right? We still do. But I would leave, go straight to the office. And because at that time I worked in Harlem, I could go to some of my friends' houses and shower and change because I kept dress shirts in my drawer.
But I think that grit, I think that stick-to-itness, that, you know, if this is my choice, I'm going to ride it out. That's what made us who we are today.
Yeah, for sure.
That is the sauce and the ingredients that create the, no matter what happens, I'm going to figure that out.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it through it.
Yeah.
I'm not as swayed or as pushed when something doesn't go right because, next. Like, keep coming at me. Come harder.
But there's something in that because the resilience part.
Yeah.
The resilience part, like our younger people today, they have it, and it's just in a different way.
It is.
Because the things that they know how to navigate on social media and create content and have a narrative and tell a story and the perfect angle.
The artistic eye.
I had no clue about how to do that. If we look at any of our pictures from that time, we did not know how to take a picture.
First of all, they were blurry.
Yeah.
Them cameras was garbage.
Facts.
And, you know.
But in that regard, I try to make sure that they can see that we had our fun, but the fun can't supersede the outcome.
No, for sure.
You know what I mean? So you can still have a full life while still making sure that you are hitting your goal. You know, so now I want to use the term, instead of saying the word goal, have expectation. The expectation only comes when you know that you put in the work. So the Kobe Bryant effect, which we displayed in a sense, because now Mamba mentality is a whole mind threat, right? Sure. He said something in the interview when someone asked him, "Hey, Kobe, are you ever nervous?" And he goes, and the same tone that you're used to, he was like, "No, I have no need to be nervous."
You're prepared.
He goes, "Why?" He goes, "Because I did all the preparatory work.
We're prepared.
I did everything I need to do to be prepared to know that when I'm taking the shot, I've done all the practice that I can do. So I shoot it with confidence. I believe in confidence.
And if you don't shoot, you don't.
And you won't know." So
ever.
I just wanted to give you that beautiful acknowledgement because of the nights that we had, the conversations that we shared, the people whom we met, whom we're still cool with to this day. But it's also really dope to see your people in their place. You know what I mean? So I wanted to make sure I acknowledge that because I can't get to where I'm going without my community.
And me neither.
And it's not necessary to do, there's no such thing as a self-made anything. Absolutely. And there's also a huge narrative that was created way too long ago that didn't apply to how we are naturally as melanated people. Okay? We did the community thing on purpose, with purpose, and the society came off of that community. So to your credit, please do me a favor. Let the people know where they can find you, because there are tons of people now looking at this who need a commercial real estate agent. They need someone who's going to help them navigate their choices and when they're going to have a brick and mortar, because brick and mortar still believe they are here. 100%. Okay. And I want you to say that so that way they could find you, because I want something new.
So
personally.
Cynthia Peacock, like the bird, Peacock. You can find me on pretty much all social media platforms at Cyn, Cyn, Realty, Realty, or Google me.
Hold on. Let's hold that. I think that's the first we've ever had somebody just go. Yo, come on, I like that. Listen, hold on. That's all right. You can let's give you applause for that one. Let's give you applause. That was a good one. Well, is there anything that you? Hold on. Not anything. That's too easy. Leave young Cynthia, who's looking at this and listening to this, a message about how to get to grown Cynthia.
Keep doing what you were doing. Don't be afraid to try. You're going to fail. You're going to pick up. You're going to keep doing it. And that's just the only way you're going to get to that other side of the road. Like, just keep fighting every day. Wake up every morning. Wake up earlier than most. Finish later than most.
Come on.
have fun.
Tell them.
No matter what.
One more again.
Work hard.
Come on.
Play harder.
Oh.
You know, like, just keep doing what you're doing. Like, you know, I'll give her props. When she was young, she was still doing the thing, and that's where I am today.
Ta-da.
And, you know, that's just, I think, just consistency every day, no matter what.
Remember, as the Harlemite Jim Jones once said, when you can't be motivated, be consistent. Keep showing up. And I want to thank you guys for joining yourselves and us for this new episode, new adventure. Thank you for being a part of another iteration of my life.
I'll be here.
Come on, man. We got things to do. And as we like to say here, peace to the kings and queens. Be kind to yourself and others. You never know who's listening and watching. Peace.
Bye, everyone.